Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are returning. So today I wanted to do a fully dedicated video to review some brushes for you guys. So the brand that I'm going to be reviewing is from Lint. My address and everything is on the top, so I just, had to cover that. Whenever you open this up, you do get a little postcard in here, and it does have a cute little note on it. This is going to be my receipt, and then here you do have a little note from them about their journey and what their brand means, which is really cute. And then of course you have this super neon green tissue paper. Like, I don't even know where they found this stuff. It is so bright. And then once you open that up, you do reveal all the brushes. I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. So that is kind of their brand colors, is a white and neon green. I'm gonna have their Instagram linked below and everything, but if you check out their page, like, it is all neon green and white. Their marketing is what drew me to this brand. Their marketing was working because I bought it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these all out of the plastic, and then we'll get into the brushes. So this is what those brushes look like. I got the designer kit, which has 7 brushes in it. This brush set does retail for 60 pounds or roughly $80 US. It does have a little bit of a price tag, but you are getting 7 brushes. You are paying a little over $10 a brush, so it is pretty standard for brushes. These do feel very, very nice and soft. And as I'm sitting here playing with all of them, the bristles are not coming out. They're not shedding, which is really, really great to start off with. These are synthetic based brushes. They do have a nice little weight to the barrel, but they are not too heavy that it's hard to hold. I do like the length of the barrel. This is a Morphe 505 brush, and as you can see, the Lint brushes are just a little bit taller, so having that little extra space gives you a little bit more freedom to hold it than the standard brush size. So far these are already winning in my book because I'm really enjoying the longer barrel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin back my hair, and we're gonna get right into this review. And I'm going to try my best to use every single brush. When I do my own eyeshadow, I do tend to use only 1 to 2 brushes, but I'm gonna do my absolute best to use all these brushes for you guys. So now that we got all the details of the brushes out of the way, let's go ahead and move into actually using them. So I'm gonna use this ABH eye primer to prime my eyes, and I'm just gonna put a little dot on each eyeball. And to buff this out, I'm gonna use this one. This is the L6, and I'm just gonna use this to go ahead and tap the eye primer in. It does seem to be spreading the liquid product out really nicely, not really eating too much of it up, because normally by now I'm kind of forcing the product around or adding more, but it is going all the way up to my brow bone really nicely. Okay, so that blended that out so nicely. I didn't have to go in with more product like I would normally do. I'm gonna do this other eye with the same brush, same technique, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I need to set this, so I'm gonna go in with the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder, and I'm gonna go into this L9 brush. It's almost the same brush, but this one has a bit more of a point to the tip, and I'm gonna take this, since it is a flatter brush, and use this to set my eyes today. So I'm gonna go back into that L6 brush, and I'm going to tap these creases out really quick, and I'm just gonna take that powder and start to apply it. And I'm gonna go ahead and take that same setting powder and do the same exact thing on the other eye, and just really working on patting this in and setting it so that those creases do not come back. So far, these brushes that I have used are applying the product really, really nicely. Okay, so that was the L6 and the L9 brushes. I really like them to apply my base for my eyeshadow, and I will be using these again, especially to apply my eye primer, because it didn't really seem to soak up any of the product, and instead it helped work it around. Let's go ahead into this one. This is the L7. I went through my makeup drawer and pulled all the stuff from the back to the front, so now I'm like, I have new stuff to play with again. So I'm gonna go into this palette by Morphe. This is their 35O palette. This was like my first real makeup palette, so definitely glad to have this back out so I could play with it. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is Newest, and again, I'm taking that on the L7. I am just gonna take this brush, swirl it around in that Newest shade, and tap off the extra, and go ahead and start working this in. And this is just going to be a very light transition color. So as I'm working this in, I'm really starting to get a feel for these brushes. They are extremely soft, but they do a really great job at actually blending the product in. But so far, from what I'm seeing with just this one shade, it is doing a really great job of actually blending the product in. Like, I can already tell, at least from this shade, I'm going to get a nice little ombre effect. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so that is what that transition shade is looking like. Very nice and seamless. It blended so easily in like a dream. And again, that was with the L7 brush. Next up, I think I want to go into this shade right here, which is Wannabe. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to place this right under that transition shade just to get a little bit of depth to my eyeball. These honestly are applying my pigment so much nicer than they normally normally would be. Normally I would have to go in about 2 times to get this amount of pigment, and I did tap off my brush and apply it like normal because my other brushes I would have to go back into twice. I mean, honestly though, the blending on this is like pretty much doing its own job. Like I barely have to put in any work, and that is what that is looking like with that shade. I mean, this literally took me maybe like 5 seconds to blend together, and I would walk out the house right now like this. I mean, you know, with this eye done. But you know, already, so that is what that is looking like, and this was the L10. I actually really like this. Normally I would use this for like an inner corner or a brow highlight because it is a longer blending brush, but I actually really did like it for blending out this shade. Next up, I really want to deepen everything together, so I'm going to take this big old fluffy angled brush, and this is the L8, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is Cafe, and just pick that up, tap off the extra, and I'm going to start blending this on my lid and working upwards. So kind of on my outer corner and moving in, and I'm just leaving this front inner part of my eye open. I'm working the top half of my inner corner and the lower and upper half of my outer corner, just so that way I can go ahead and add a shimmer on top, and that is what that shade is looking like all blended out. And same thing, I'm going to go do that other eye and be right back. Alrighty, that is what that shade is looking like all blended out. Next up, I'm going to take this L5 brush, and it is like a flat domed brush, and I'm going to go into this shade Pop right here and see how it applies on a dry brush. And I'm just going to pick this up a bit, and this is going in dry and just seeing how that applies. That applied so easily, and it was really easy to get like a cut crease shape without actually doing a cut crease. I'm like blown away. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye the same, and then I'm going to go ahead and try applying it while the brush is wet with setting spray and see how that one applies as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that same brush and my setting spray. So I already have some of the eyeshadow on my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and spritz this. And I'm just going to apply this right over. That way we can kind of see the comparison on if there is a difference. And I can already tell you there is. I still think the first one wasn't bad. It was definitely a more natural shimmer, whereas this one's like a, hey, I'm ready to go party. So this one definitely is taking that shimmer and turning it into a foiled color with the setting spray on it. It's still applying freaking gorgeously though. So this is with the brush being wettened, and this is the brush dry. So as you can see, there is still shimmer on there, but this is definitely intense. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye and make the match really quick. This is what that is looking like. So far from this collection, if you were gonna get any brush, I highly recommend this L5. I personally cannot really do cut creases on my own. I suck at them, but this truly did give the illusion of me doing a cut crease, and it made it so easy because the shape of it is flat, but it's not flat. It's sort of rounded, but it's not. So it just kind of fit perfectly right there. So this is a brush I am definitely going to be adding into my regular routine. Love it. So I'm going to go ahead and slap on my base, and I'll be right back. And then we're going to go ahead and finish off the lower lash line with the last brush. Alrighty guys, I am back. My base is done. So let's go ahead and finish this lower lash line. And to do that, I'm going to take this L11 brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is Wannabe. And I'm just going to start buffing this out on my lower lash line, making sure to connect that outer corner to the under eye. This brush, just like the others, is blending everything all on its own and making this so easy for me to work with, and it is just creating this nice diffused look under my under eyes. And I'm going to do that other eye and be right back. Alrighty, this is that first shade. I'm going to go back into this palette with the same brush and go into the shade Cafe again, and I'm going to keep this just right above on the outer corner only where I placed that first shade Wannabe, just to really deepen up the outer corner, just like that. Alrighty, that is what that is looking like with the L11 brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my lashes, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, this is the look I created with the Lint brushes. I hope you did enjoy. So let's go over these brushes one more time. They are synthetic brushes, and their barrels are a bit longer than most brushes, which I found to be really helpful. I actually really like the size of these better than most brushes. For the cream product for my eye primer, I used the L9. I loved this to apply that. It didn't really seem to soak up any of my product. It blended it all really seamlessly and easily. So I would highly recommend this brush. And the other brush I would really highly recommend is the L5, which we used to apply this shimmer shade. This did a really great job at creating a cut crease shape. It applied match the shimmer so beautifully. I would highly recommend. If you're gonna get any brushes at all, I highly recommend these two specifically. However, I would recommend this entire set. I love the eye look I created today. I feel like if you got these, you would not be disappointed at all. So again, this is the designer set. It is 60 pounds or about $80. So you're paying about roughly $12 almost for a brush, which is a standard price for a brush. And these do feel like really nice, high quality brushes. The bristles did not come out. They did not shed, even when I was sitting there playing with them. They do have a nice little weight to it without being too heavy. Overall, I highly recommend these brushes. I feel like if you do get these, you will not be disappointed at all. These brushes were absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to create more looks with these. I enjoyed this so much. And with that being said, you guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Make sure you do hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. It does help me figure out what kind of videos you guys are enjoying from me, if you're liking more of the reviews, more of the hauls, more of the try-ons. So just leave a like if you did enjoy this video so I know what kind of content you are enjoying from me. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it, and I hope to see you there. Bye guys!